And we're grateful for all the support for community radio. If you'd like to support it, you go to 93qradio.com and just beat that donate button to death. And I will be grateful. The poor family I live with will be grateful. Right. I used to tell people that. I'd say I was an evangelist. I'd go and preach places. I say, all the money you donate today is going to a poor family for Christmas. Mine. Right? It's like, they would be like, really? All right, let me make sure I got you gentlemen on. My interview at this particular time is with Robert Bendorf and Steve Smith. They're on the air today, particularly so we can get the band back together. But
yes,
yeah, that's gonna happen.
Yeah.
All right, guys, great stuff going on in our community all the time, and you're here to talk about economic development. Yuba Sutter Economic Development Corporation.
A little of everything.
A little of everything today, right. Yes, for sure.
All right. Well, we're good to go. I actually have all the right buttons pushed, I think. So hopefully
I was going to talk about it, though, Fish, but you stole my notes.
I did?
So I didn't get him back yet. But, hey, that's... I mean, it's par for the course. We know that. But that's
I could have held on to those and said, come on, Robert.
Right. Well, truth be told, as long as the audience knows that you were spell checking things for me.
I was.
Yeah. So yeah, we're really excited, both Steve and I, the county and the city, about an event that's coming up on August the 26th, and really for the community to identify, what they feel are priorities for economic development. We all know that we've been challenged a little bit with, fiscal constraints, both at the county level and the city level. But it's never about one solution. So you can talk about revenue measures, you can talk about all those things, but unless you combine it with work on the other end, like economic development, and really focus economic development, that's going to allow us to, prepare for our future. And again, never about just one solution. It's about several to make sure there's good quality of life. People have opportunities in Sutter County and Yuba City, and that's what it's all about. And that's what we're trying to put together and promote. And the best part about this event is it's being put on by the Yuba Sutter Economic Development Corporation. Brenda Strandick sends her regards this morning. She wasn't in a good place to attend. So
we say she's on assignment.
She's on assignment. There you go.
The terminology.
Right,
she's on assignment.
So, and then it's also the events being put on by not only the Economic Development Corporation, but the Yuba Sutter Chamber and the Downtown Business Association.
Oh.
And we'll be making some presentations at the event, and we're hoping to get folks' engagement and attendance, and maybe Steve can talk about where it's at and what our outcomes are hopefully will be.
Yeah, so it's been great working with Robert. As most people know, he was the county executive in Yuba County for a long time, and we've known each other for a long time.
And
through the counties.
Well, yeah, he always held it against me, and then today, all of a sudden,
I was waiting for that.
Yeah, he's turning a new leaf, so I don't know what's going on.
But we're really excited. On the 26th of August, 5:30 p.m.
Wow, that's right around the corner.
Yeah, and it's at the Vets Memorial Hall, right by City Hall and in the county administrative buildings. And we have a company that has been working primarily with the city that Robert and the city hired, but also thankfully working with us and visioning different areas, different properties, such as the Kmart complex that the county has, and over by the old courthouses, by the levee on 2nd Street, but also some properties that the city is working on, and they have some what are they called? Not schematics, but the
conceptual drawings.
Of what the areas could be, and then people will be able to hopefully we get a good attendance, and that's why we're here, and we want people to come and say, hey, this looks great there, you should consider this or that, and we do what we can to try to attract those businesses. We can't demand. I do occasionally get the comment of, why don't you have an X business come, or why don't you do that? And they have to want to come, but we can
all
do our
know,
best to
Steve,
make them attractive.
It's the Chick-fil-A. When is it getting here? Everybody asks that. And it's like, what do you think? It's the only restaurant on the planet? Look at all the places we got to eat. But I get it.
Yeah, just short of me and Steve wearing sandwich boards along Colusa Highway and saying, Chick-fil-A, please come here.
Yeah, exactly. What else?
Our efforts have been pretty involved trying to get them here, but and they want to locate here, but it's just a matter of finding the right spot.
So let me, when I was in college, one of the classes I took, they talked about attracting business to a given area. And they said things that I didn't think about. But corporations look for certain amenities when they go to a city, and I didn't think about it, but they want to know schools, walkability, all these things that we don't think about, but they're talking about moving people, so they want to know what the housing is like. They want to know all these things, right? And so when a city does improvement, right, which is one of the things you're going to be talking about, these are possibilities, how much does that attract corporate entities to a given area?
Yeah, I think, I mean, every movement forward in this area, regardless of what city or county, all has its individual demographic stories, right? Mm-hmm. Some companies will locate and say, hey, it looks like the future is really bright. You've got more rooftop coming. We'll make an investment in the land, and then eventually they build. Some, it takes quite a few years for them to count the number of rooftops where it makes a private company's target. And we get told that all the time. But in local government, listen, our role, like Steve said, and I agree with him 100%, is we can't force a private developer to build something here, whether it's a Dutch Bros or Starbucks, etc.
Although I want to see you guys with the sandwich boards.
Yeah, right.
I'll film that. I will film that.
That was Steve's idea, not mine. But we're hopeful. I mean, in local government, our job is to really plow the road. And what I mean by that is making sure that our policies, our general plan, our zoning codes, et cetera, are accepting of folks when they want to come in and do business here. And I think we do a pretty good job of that. And then, of course, we hear the project, and it goes through Planning Commission, and it goes to the council. But our efforts are to make that as seamless as possible and really have a good environment for folks. But they also look at the data pretty hard, but they also look at what residents have to say, which I'm so glad the EDC and the Chamber and the DBA saw this as an opportunity to host something like this, and we get the word out to the community, and we get what their priorities are, and we'll show them, 4 particular areas that we're focused on. So to me, I think that's what motivates a development company or business to maybe site here. I don't know what you think.
So I can see
agree.
why you guys would want as many concerned citizens to come to this event, so that you guys can get the feedback. Look, this is what's out there. This is the opportunity. What do you guys think? And you guys have been really good at that. What does the community think?
Right.
Because it does. I mean, what we do here is give the community a voice. And it's like, I think that this would be great if you just had an incredible number of people show up and say, we love this, or we like it, but, right? And so you could handle that. This is a great idea.
Well, and we're hoping it'll be interactive because we're going to have a presentation, but there's going to be stations where people can kind of break out into groups and go to the different and focus on maybe one development area, give some notes, give some feedback, and then move to another. And there will be people there taking their notes and helping facilitate the conversation.
So the presentation is of 4 distinct areas?
Yeah, 4 distinct areas.
So then the people will be able to go and talk to somebody about each given area. Maybe they live near one of those areas.
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome.
And we have others in the pipeline, but again, if you present 2, 3 more, et cetera, I don't think we get enough focus. And there's always an opportunity to do another one of these, but this is our first stab at it. And then we have a couple areas too that we want to, throw into the mix. Again, when you're planning for your future, you don't want to short sell it. And people hear me say all the time, I'd rather aim high and miss than aim low and hit. So we're seeing what we can do. But I also want to remind folks, Fish, that this effort just doesn't happen overnight. And there was a lot of thought that we put into, hey, what about the where? And by hiring Perkins and Eastman, who are really experts in this field, and they've done this all across the country and even the world. But doing that economic visioning and realizing what's possible. And then how can our residents enjoy, and our business owners enjoy, a great built environment here, and they don't have to travel elsewhere to get that type of entertainment or activities for their families. But why not here? So when people ask me, why are you doing all this? And I said, well, why not? And we would certainly rather have our families here and partake in what we have to offer. But working with Perkins Eastman, we rolled it through a concentrated group of some residents, city managers focus group, and some developers in the area as well, just running the concepts by them. Perkins and Eastman has been up here on numerous occasions, viewing the landscape and getting an idea of what's possible. So a lot of work has gone into this, and we're really excited about sort of unveiling what those next steps are.
So I have to ask this because you said something and I was like, what? So that Kmart building, that's not owned by the city?
No, it's owned by the county. Yeah. The Kmart
Who
complex.
owns my street?
Well, you do.
Oh, I do. Okay. All right. I'll fix the pothole. Right. Okay. So if that particular area is part of the development, this is awesome that you're able to connect city and county and say, how can we do this together? This is a great thing.
And I think it even goes beyond that. I mean, but it's not just about the Kmart property. It's about envisioning the whole picture and what's possible there. And I know you guys are very married to that process, and I think got some good momentum, right?
Absolutely. I mean, we're both jointly working with Union Pacific Railroad because they own the tracks that go right behind the Kmart between the park and Kmart. So we're both working on that to see if we're able to secure that property. In the past, UPRR has been great to work with, and they years ago basically donated. I think there was other easements like that for maybe $10 and signed it over to various people that will use it. And
my backyard.
Right. Yeah.
My backyard. Really? They. I think it's called quitclaim. And they just quitclaimed it to us, and now, man, I have a bigger backyard.
Yep.
And I love it, except for it's made out of gravel. But other than that, but no, I mean, so they could literally these little sections that are left. You guys are having to. Got it. Yeah.
Yes. So out of the four, so maybe we can talk and give a little bit of teaser. Is that what you were looking for?
Yeah, that's exactly where I was headed.
I can see where you're headed. So, so a few of the teasers. One is Kmart. I'll let Steve talk about what's possible there, but it's a bigger concept than just the Kmart property. But one of the items that we're looking at is near the downtown. I mean, I'm always a believer, and I think our economic visioning consultants, your downtown is the heartbeat of your city. In every city that has a good downtown, that really is the heartbeat, right? And so this would be hopefully maybe an extension of the downtown. But before I say that, I want to make sure that, listen, we have in all four of these locations active businesses that are there. But there's also a lot of opportunity on the properties of the sites that they're on. So this isn't an edict that these folks will move away or they have to sell their business. Right. That is so far from any truth. But we've identified areas that could really supplement our city's economic development. So one of them is basically the tip of the property touches Tower Park. So it's the triangle shape where the old Dana packing sheds were in use. And it's bordered by Bridge Street and Reeves Avenue and Cooper. But again, that large triangle site has a big chunk of that UPRR running through it on the north side.
That's why it's a triangle. It's got it.
Absolutely. And so we think there's opportunities there that could easily expand our downtown and make our downtown even more flourishing. I think the consultants even nicknamed it the sheds at one point. A lot of developers these days are interested in those types of buildings, and they convert them into places to go eat, pubs, entertainment, whatever it may be. So really excited at that opportunity. So that's one of the things that we have. One of the sites we had talked about. So one of the other ones is the 2nd Street courthouses, and I'll let Steve talk about that because it is kind of complicated, again, that relationship with the state of California. But that's a really exciting, as some type of levee district, if you will, not in the governmental sense, but a levee district where people could take advantage of viewing the river, maybe sitting out and having lunch.
I love that.
Over some type of viewing extension. But I'll let Steve talk about maybe that, and then also Cameron.
Yeah, over by the levees, the old courthouse, and there's been rumors here and there that we try to clarify that we were going to demolish the old courthouse, or we were going to do a variety of things. But the state owns the equity in the old courthouse, and if you know the very old courthouse, which is on the west side of 2nd Street, they essentially own that old courthouse. We own the Hall of Records, we being the county. The county owns the Hall of Records, and then there's an annex area in between that was built in maybe the 60s. But so the state's working with us, though, and years ago had wanted to sell us the old courthouse when they moved over on a civic center.
Yeah.
However, it's not in great shape. And we're looking for someone that wants to, if this visioning people are attracted to it and it's a great opportunity, then we can put out a request for interest from developers that could come in and say, we could turn this into a boutique hotel, or we could turn it into an event center, or we could turn it into wedding venues, and different things that could be done. And the building across the street, right next to the levee, the county still uses. The district attorney's there, and
I wondered if there was anybody in there, because I passed that every day going home.
Yeah.
And I thought, what's going on in there? Huh?
Yeah, and there's some health and human services programs in there as well. But if there's enough interest in redeveloping that, then we can move departments to other facilities. And we've been trying to get the district attorney moved over closer to the new courthouse anyways. So it could just be a great synergy of things coming together and being able to turn that into something that people would love to visit. And
it'd be awesome to have anything down by the levee that overlooks our river.
Yes.
The river is a huge thing, and I've often wondered, I've told you guys a story, John Dukes, when he was mayor, one day he says to me, we ought to take that train trestle that goes across there and buy a bunch of caboose cars and put a spaghetti factory up there. So you'd be sitting there eating and looking over the river. And I went, that's a great idea,
Yeah, I think with some of the artist renderings on this from Perkins and Eastman, and people will see them on the 26th, but it's got some maybe a high rise. It's got a public market and maybe a hotel, but it's got an overlooks that kind of expand.
Super,
they won't touch the levees, right? And we won't do anything like that. But it would overlook, so people can enjoy lunch, enjoying the beauty of the rivers. And when you think about it, I mean, with the Feather River and the Yuba River, that's how these communities were built.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for those rivers, I think it'd be a different story for Yuba and Sutter. But the trade that went through, it's
well, if you can get the river boats back, you're in.
Yeah, there you go. Right.
That's a great idea, though. Yeah. I didn't realize those were. They were across the street. I didn't realize. So the state owns the courthouse.
Yeah.
On the west.
We technically have the title, but they own the equity.
Got it.
So we have to work together with them to do anything.
Well, I can help you out with that.
Okay.
We just draw a line. Yuba Sutter becomes its own state. The state of Yuba Sutter, and then we own it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's our new point person for our general plan.
Visionary.
Yeah, the general plan for the county and city. We just
we've been
2 lines.
Oh man, I'm going to get in trouble for that. You guys.
If you raise your right hand, Steve will swear you in right now.
No. I don't need more work, guys. This is really awesome. So one more time, it's going to be at the Veterans Center, which is over off Civic Center.
Yeah.
And then, when's the date? And I'm assuming everybody's invited.
Yeah.
Right? Good.
Yeah.
So can I squeeze in a little bit more?
Yeah.
Okay, here goes. Yeah, 5:30, August 26th. Veterans Memorial Hall, is that what we call it?
Yeah.
It's right behind City Hall there. But, one of the projects that we're looking at, we're really excited to bring forward, and I think it really tells the story of the fabric of the Yuba Sutter communities. And so there's a family that owns some property north of town, and I'm going to hold off on giving you the exact location, but when they heard...
I already know it.
Yeah.
I'll give it. No, just kidding.
You're more than welcome. So they own about 160 acres just north of town, and it borders right on the county-city jurisdiction. But the good news is the city has utilities stubbed right at the corner of their property. And but this family... it was just incredible when they found out what we're doing with some of this economic visioning. We said, hey, we have this. We know there's been some talk of a park or sports complex, that can just provide tons of opportunities like some of these other, areas around us, which a lot of our families travel to for competitive sports, volleyball, basketball, softball, baseball, etc. And they came to us and they said, we'd like to work with the city and the county, of course. And it's a family that's been here a long time, and they said, we want to do this for our community. And so,
that's cool.
Yeah, and it's been just a great story. I mean, and the hope is out of that 140 acres, really, as it stands right now, only about 60 of that roughly would be, sports complex park, but the other area will be developable and could house things such as entertainment, where people can go, families can go, restaurants, hotels, etc. So
possibly a Chick-fil-A.
And a Chick-fil-A. Did I hear Chick-fil-A again? I think I heard it. I thought that was just some feedback.
I'm only doing that because of my wife. Right? She insists. Right?
Should we put on these just to make sure I think he's saying Chick-fil-A, but I'm not sure. But anyway, so our hope is that combined, it really provides opportunity from jobs, economic possibilities, etc. And I know Steve's known the family for a long time too.
So how many acres?
160 total, or 140 acres.
Could any of that be developed for housing, for homes, or does it have to be developed somewhere else? I'm just thinking the north area, some more homes. We always need homes.
Right, and certainly working through the zoning on that, and does it fit within that model? That's going to be the big decision. But I mean, who knows what it'll finally look like? Right now, the focus is on the economic opportunities, but some type of supplemental housing could work out there. But again,
I just think this is awesome.
Yeah, I really, really excited. Do you want to talk about Kmart?
Yeah, sure. I mean, there's some visioning for Kmart. We've had a lot of thoughts over the years. Originally, it was going to be for the Health and Human Services Department, but when COVID hit, it basically doubled the budget, and we knew we couldn't afford to build what we wanted to do. So we've thought, what can we do for the community that will be something good there? And there's been a lot of uses over the years, like the food bank and the veterans. And during COVID, it was used for graduations and concerts and all kinds of things.
It was crazy, but it was cool.
Yeah. So, but there are some really cool things that I think folks will see at this meeting that show, you could have some housing, you could have some mixed use, you could kind of open it up with Rockaway leading to the mall and have like one big area that's kind of combined. So there's a lot of uses. There's also a possibility, if we work with UPRR and the city, that maybe we expand something into the park. And it's
that's right.
And it's
Sam
a much
Brennan's
bigger,
right behind that.
Right.
So it would be the Kmart building and then the
UPRR,
railroad property. Understood. Boy, that'd create a huge area there.
Yeah, the Kmart area, including the parking and the building and all of that's about 13 acres.
Wow.
But if you include the park, I think it goes up to around 20 acres or so.
Pretty close, yeah. And we've got some decisions to make on the park is coming up tomorrow with a meeting we're having with our council. But even if you have that amenity of a park that's of good quality for people to go, they can enjoy some type of economic activities during the day, whether it's shopping, dining, or whatever, but maybe outdoorish. And then you have that park next door complementing, almost like the same concept as an open air shopping, or like the fountains that's located in Roseville. Those type of open air kind of ventures. But I think the concept, like Steve talked about, is connecting, that we talked to the representatives of the mall. And then if you go along Roca, like Steve was mentioning, the Kmart building is kind of like rebirth that into maybe a Yuba Sutter marketplace with a lot more opportunities.
That's really a good idea.
Yeah. And so, again, I know I keep using the word opportunities, but the more opportunities we can provide for our families and things for people to do, and they have a variety, that's our hope. And some really exciting concepts, and the firm that we hired and that we're working with, they have those connections with developers and people that do this stuff. We took the step of hiring a sports facilities sort of master planner, if you will.
Oh, so they could,
and they're coming in to help guide us on, what we should be doing, and they're going to look at demographics, activities, and all that stuff. So we want to do it right. And I think we're headed down that path. I mean, we've invested, between Steve and I and our staffs, we've invested quite a bit of time in the effort and making sure we can drill it down to a good focus that people will be able to tell us what they like and don't like.
Since it's about economics, Robert, I've heard you quote some statistics, which I thought were pretty incredible, to be honest. And you talked about how much money from our area leaves our area, and how when we develop our area, we have opportunity to bring that money back into the community. But I was pretty shocked over the percentage. So do you remember those?
Yeah, sure. So again, working closely with Brenda over the Economic Development Corporation, which Steve and I both do, they keep a lot of that economic data, and then working with our tax consultants, et cetera. So simple math, and we've got the data to prove it. We've got the science to prove it, that there's about a $1.5 billion demand for goods and supplies in Yuba City. And so if you take that $1.5 billion demand, the supply is only $1 billion. When I say only, it seems like it's a lot.
Oh, that's nothing.
But right. But that leaves a gap of about $500 million.
To Musk, it's nothing. To the rest of it, it's a lot.
So it leaves quite the big gap. And what that gap represents is people spending their money elsewhere. And they're going, and there's about 30 categories in this analysis, and it has everything from specialty food stores, restaurants, or fine dining, sports stores, things like that. And in some areas of those 30, the gap just for those individual categories can be 80%.
Wow.
That we don't have the supply here, but the demand and the gap about 80% plus difference. So our job is to look at that data, get focused, and say, hey, how do we bring those things here for possibilities? But yeah, $500 million gap, and they're spending it elsewhere. So when people say, Steve and I hear it all the time, well, there's not enough money in Yuba Sutter to support something like that. I just got to tell you, looking at the data, they're spending the money. It's just not here.
Yeah, I know that we've done campaigns over the years, shop local. We've been involved in it to get people to shop local. Usually you hear that around Christmas time, right? But I think generally, if I take, I don't care what I'm driving, I don't care if it's the most economical vehicle, unless I'm walking, right? If I drive to another community, whatever I bought just costs me more.
That's right.
But if it's not available in my community, I understand that. And most people I meet, they're pro, let's shop here, right? I'm not just talking about business owners, just people I meet. Hey, let's spend our money here. It stays here. And I just think honestly, I just think it's the right thing to do. So having you guys look at that, and then looking at creative ways, and actually hiring people who are very creative that go, hey, you could do this, and then having an opportunity to present that to the community, that's huge. So that they can go and say, hey, look, this is what we're thinking, and then already having a family saying, hey, we want to be involved. Yeah. So you guys have done the work in the background, and then we get to go and see the picture, right? We get to see the picture and then get to sit down and say, I like this idea. Where's the Chick-fil-A? Oh, I said it again. My wife loves me.
Yeah, right.
This is awesome. This is really awesome.
Anything?
The only thing that surprised me was earlier you mentioned you'd taken a college class, and I wasn't aware you had any education at any level.
Actually, I'm a bachelor's in business.
That came from that mic. It did not come from this mic. I'm just saying.
Well, you know what? Drummers sometimes get off beat.
Yes, they do.
See, he gives me a hard time.
Well, this is what I love about this community. It's real people.
Yeah.
Doing real things, and it's like they live here. And what I do appreciate about you, Mr. Bendorf, is you have worked on the other side of the river and watched things develop over a period of time. And I talk to law enforcement and other people that they exchange across both sides of the river.
Yeah.
I think of Clint Curry, right?
Yeah.
Who now is on this side. Different ones, and it's one big community. And I hope people understand, you develop something huge in Yuba City, it helps Marysville. All the economy helps economy.
Yes.
And so I just really love this. And so I appreciate that he can talk to you because he goes, well, this guy's already done my job, right? He's already done
Yeah.
So he's a great resource,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
And in the creative ideas, I just think this is wonderful. Lastly, I think it's really great. You're giving the community opportunity.
Yeah.
Come see what we're looking at. Come hear how we see these different areas. And then people that have asked about Kmart, what are they going to do with that building? Well, come see what's possible, right?
Yeah.
And those packing places you were talking about. I go by there and I think, what's going on there? Well, it's not what's going on there. It's what could go on there.
Yeah.
And you guys are going to afford us opportunity to see that. Yeah. I live in Yuba City, and I don't care if that pothole in front of my house ever gets fixed. I had Public Works tell me, that's yours, Fish. You fix that, right? We already did your road. You're good. But I just think it's great because you're giving them an opportunity to weigh in.
Right.
Hey, here's the idea, but maybe you guys will come up with something we haven't thought of.
Yeah,
and I just think it's awesome.
I think the beauty of this whole exercise is it's not, the recipe is not a bunch of bureaucrats sitting in a, well, people refer to us as bureaucrats, but not a bunch of us sitting in a room saying and dictating, this should go there, that should go there, that should go there. We have brought in somebody that is a subject matter expert, and we had them look at what's available. And we really did not push them. And these are their concepts based upon all of their experience they've had, again, countrywide, worldwide, et cetera. And then the next stop is to test it out, see what some of our community members feel like, development community, property owners, et cetera, some of our electeds. But then the most important piece is exactly what you talked about. See what the community thinks.
Yeah.
And so this is a grassroots effort. It is not a government effort. It's a grassroots community effort, which I love a lot. And I know Steve and I talk about it all the time. And that's the way we feel that gets better outcomes.
Well, if you come to a place where you don't know what the people want that put you there, right? Mm-hmm. That's when you become a bureaucrat. But as long as you're communicating with the people, you're just the guy next door that's going to help me fix that pothole.
Yep.
Do you live actually in the city limits or the county? Because
I knew that was coming.
Last time I remember, we didn't have any potholes, but I thought they were all in the county.
Actually, I don't have one. I make that up just for that reason. Oh, my God. Well, guys, thanks so much. So one more time, Robert, this is the 26th of August. Do you know what day of the week that is?
Yeah,
Wednesday.
Wednesday?
Yeah.
Wednesday. And the time frame?
5:30. It should last about an hour and a half, 2 hours tops, give or take.
And they'll get a presentation of the overall picture and then an opportunity to speak into the different parts.
Absolutely.
Perfect.
And if you come, we'll even have snacks there for you.
Yep.
All right. I don't like those little goldfish. I like Cheetos.
Yeah.
The puffy ones.
All right. We'll keep it in. Keep it in mind.
And now he's got a menu. Great. Thanks, Fish.
Gentlemen, thanks so much for coming on.
Yeah,
Appreciate it. Let me know if there's anything else that we can make sure that people know, because I think when things happen with the community in mind, you change everything. You change our opinions, our viewpoint. To see the city and county work together, even that's good. Anytime we see unity works better than division.
That's right.
So, all right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, Fish.
This community interview is made possible by Shaw and Associates.
I'm Dave Shaw, President and CEO of Shaw & Associates. For over 70 years, Shaw & Associates has been your trusted experts for wealth management, tax, accounting, and payroll. We change lives and inspire